very special today. Who have we got here today? None other than himself, Danny Tommo. We're in, shall I say where we are?
Say where we are.
We are in Portsmouth, a lot of heritage around there. We're going to pan around in a little while and let you have a look at thingy, but we've got more important things to talk about, and we're going to get into it. Hello Danny Tommo, thank you for having me on, and thank you for coming and having this interview and that. The nerve of the nation, people are pissed off.
They are.
They're pissed off. Let me take my glasses off so I can look you in the eye, you know what I mean? Yeah. The nation's pissed off.
Very much so.
We got Antifa, we got the Tommy Robinson supporters, we got Brexit, we got Tommy Robinson. What do you want to talk about first? I would say let's just start off with Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson is in prison.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Tommy Robinson.
So, I mean, let's go back to the reason why I got involved in what we're doing.
Oh, yes.
I mean, going back to 2018, it was May. As everyone knows, we all watched the video of Tom having a live stream outside the court case. And then we obviously saw him moved away by the police, arrested for reporting on something that the media put a ban on. I mean, in no other country in America, they don't do bans like here. So it was very important that Tom did what he did, because without people like him, we don't really get to see really what's going on. And that's the fundamental thing of what he does. He brings things that need to be brought to light to the British public, and look where he is now for it. But going back to so in May, we saw the video. I was obviously very pissed off as everyone else was, and we all said that we were going to go to Downing Street the next day and we were going to make our voices heard. About 300-400 people turned up. It was a big day to show how quickly people would turn up in his defence. We closed down the roads for a few hours, and then everyone sort of went home pissed off, and I sort of sat there and thought, what's the next step? What are we doing now? What are we doing now? This can't be it. So I just literally decided to go onto Facebook and to create an events page, a Free Tommy, and it spiraled. 1 minute, it was 5 people, then it was 150 people, and 1,000 people, that were going to come, and then 5,000, and 10,000, and 15,000, and I couldn't believe it. And then obviously we all went down to central London. We had a huge stage, and about 50,000 people turned up. And more than anything, it was so refreshing to see that something could happen to someone, and that so many people actually took their time to come out and say, this is wrong, we need to stand up for this.
I think I'll just make a quick point. The reason why I got into it myself is I looked at Tommy Robinson and saw that he was getting a big following, and mainstream media just said, he's racist. So I thought, oh shit. There's a lot of racist people going to see this, they're getting a lot of support. I better have a look and see what's going on. So I've done a little review in that, and somebody said, gone down there and had a look, and this is why I'm here now in Portsmouth talking to you. Do you know what I mean?
Because you see, I mean, as you'll probably say, 80% of the people that want to march are families. Disabled, elderly. He has a huge, the majority of people that are writing to him at the moment are over 50 years, over 50. They're just writing saying, I feel for you. But, what people don't realise is all these people that are coming out for him, there's still thousands and thousands that physically can't because of their jobs, so that, their livelihoods, everything would be taken from them if they were even to be seen at a march.
They can't say anything.
They can't put anything on Facebook, they can't put anything, they can't talk to friends about it. They have to literally, in secrecy, feel a burning passion for this man. They can never talk about it because nurses and it's crazy.
Do you think there's an inequality in dialogue?
Massively.
Against the white man.
Yeah, I mean
Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these days, if you class yourself as a patron, you walk around with a flag.
I really want to talk to you about
you're racist.
Nationalism, the English flag.
Any person, when I went to London, there's all these thousands of people talking about the EU, but none of them are wearing any British. There's no British flags.
Do you know something that's really funny? Well, I went to Notting Hill. I was around the corner from Nottingham, I was working actually, but I see lots of people coming from Notting Hill Carnival. What really disappointed me about Notting Hill Carnival was that there wasn't any English flags. There was every other flag, and we're in England, and there wasn't an English. English
frowned
flag.
upon. It's frowned upon. If you walk down central London with a flag on your back, singing patriotic songs, you'll be classed as a racist. That's just fact.
I think we have to distinguish between patriotism, nationalism, and racism, because it seems that they're trying to blur the lines.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's you can distinguish people that are out that their views were, racist, homophobic. Like, for me, I wouldn't have a go, but I wouldn't associate myself with someone like that, because that's not what I'm about. And right now, it's about actually trying to get away from this.
Away from that tag, maybe people will start.
Yeah, then listen, and that's
I've come to have a look.
Maybe they're just a little bit over the top, because if they say that, then they've lost everything. Because if you can't call someone racist, you can't call them far right. What can you call them? Or you look at these patriots walking down London. It's like that's why they have to stick with that tag.
I believe that you should listen to everybody. So even if
communication.
Even if you listen to them and they were racist, you could dismiss them. Yeah. But if you don't listen,
absolutely. And it's Owen Jones. I've done a few things with Owen Jones.
He's that got punched in the head.
The guy that got attacked outside.
Did he get?
Yeah.
A
couple of people, he massively throws out these tags to people.
Owen Jones, I'd like to talk to you as well. How about that?
Yeah, I bet he won't.
Owen Jones, come talk to Blackvanman. Unbiased review. I want to hear what you got to say.
But he was at the London thing the other day on Saturday.
Yeah.
I caught up with him and he got his phone out and he started asking me, "Oh, you went to prison? You went to prison?" And I said, "No, Owen, I made a mistake when I was younger. I made a mistake when I was younger.
As people do.
I found God when I was in prison. I promised myself and my children I would never ever do anything silly again. And even the reasons that I went to prison, the whole reason I got involved in that is because I had no money for the kids at Christmas. I was panicking. I've got 4 kids. I lost my job. And I did something very silly.
Didn't know no better at the time.
I put them. I know it sounds stupid, but I sort of said, I'll do something silly, I'll take the blame for it, but then as long as they've got presents and they wake up happy in the morning. And that was, for me, that was more important. But looking back at it, it was a stupid mistake, and I wouldn't ever repeat it. But
done your time.
Done my time, and and I've never ever put myself in a position. But Owen Jones walked beside me and was saying, "You're a racist, you're a far right." I said, "Owen, please tell me, what is it that I've said or done that's far right or racist?" And he went, "Well, I don't know that." I said, "But how can
he didn't?"
Yeah, he did.
No way.
It's on YouTube. I said, "Owen,
wait,
how can you
stop. So Owen Jones, you have to slow this down a little bit, because Owen Jones, who is well known in the media, came to you and called you a racist,
and far right,
and far right, and you said to Owen Jones, "Show me the proof," and he said he doesn't know you.
Doesn't know me, and then his next answer was, "Well, you're part of the movement." I said, what does that make me? How does that make me far right or racist? He went, "You're part of the Tommy Robinson movement. You're an associate of Tommy Robinson." I said, "That doesn't mean anything. Oh, you think you're trying to tell me every single person that knows Tommy Robinson is a racist? Yeah. So his mum's a racist. So his dad's a racist. So he can't. It's completely stupid and idiotic that these people can't have a dialogue. I say it to every single time when I speak to the left, the far left, Antifa.
I can see the passion in your eyes.
I say, bro, talk to me. Why do you feel this way? We can't go on like this. We all live in the same country. Our kids will go to school together. We're all going to be around each other for life.
That's why I'm here.
We have to talk. They don't want to talk. They won't ever talk. Go away. You're a racist. Go
Antifa,
away.
I'm coming back. You didn't put your best foot forward on the first time. I'm going to give you a second chance. I'm going to come back again. I want to talk to someone. If anybody's there to talk to me, I'm going to come and let you talk just as I've let Danny Tommo talk. That's all we want. So anyone from Antifa, I only heard about you when I started doing research on Tony Robinson, so I haven't got a lot of information on you. You didn't get off to a good start. Let me know what's going on. Get in contact with me so we can get some kind of dialogue. Danny Tommo wants dialogue with you. Are you willing to have dialogue with Danny Tommo? See what's going on.
They won't. They don't talk to the media. One of their little, they've got rules. They don't take pictures of each other. They don't record each other, and they don't talk to the police. They don't talk to the police. They even have their own legal individuals on their marches wearing legal high visors. Okay. So if the police try and talk to them, they just point at the and the Muslim Defence League do exactly the same. Yeah. It's in a way for them not have to in any shape or form talk to the police. So the police can't ask them to do something and they have to respond to it. They just don't talk. It's a way of basically doing
working the system quite basically.
Okay. It's massive, man. But yeah, as I said, that dialogue. communication, moving forward, communication has to come. I mean, I was chased, I was followed out of London by 200, 300 Antifa thugs.
Was that yesterday or the day before?
No, Saturday, yeah. And they were trying to say he's there antagonising people. I was there, I was listening, I was in the crowd of the left. All the Tommy lads, all the Brexiteers were on another side with the police line around them. I stayed in the left with the left and the Antifa lot. I spoke to them, I got people on.
That's what it's about, isn't it?
And I was not violent, I wasn't aggressive, I wasn't anything.
Do you think they were prepared to talk to you?
Yeah, until they realised who I was, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
And then they just come out and went, he's a fascist here, quick, there's a fascist. And then they surrounded me, and the guy tried to put, Antifa guy tried to put chewing over my hair. He tried to put a drink over my head.
They were trying to
yeah, and they were barging into people.
That guy in the reporter, AO something in
in America, yeah. He
got milkshakes thrown over him, he got beaten up and everything, innit? Was that by Antifa as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he was reporting, and I didn't like the fact that he was reporting on them. Like I say, they don't like cameras, they don't like pictures, because they don't want people to know who they are. That's why they wear masks.
So do you think that I could be in danger going into the Antifa next time?
Yeah, if you're seen interviewing me now, or interviewing people like you have done, I think you've interviewed Tracy Blackvanman, people will respond to that and say, you must be racist. Like,
well, that's why I was just like, oh.
You must be, you're a black man, basically. You know what I mean? And this is the thing that it's like Abby. It's like Abby, when they call Abby, they go, you're a racist, he's a Jew, and they call him a Nazi. I'm a Jew, and well, you must be the first Jewish Nazi. Mate, just on that point, my grandfather was on the beaches at June 6, 1944. Landing craft open, ran onto the beaches, got shot in the hip, came off the beach within an hour of being on there, actually took the sacrifice, a lot of his mates around him died. And these people are labelling people and saying, and they're actually, even politicians putting pictures of lads, soldiers from the 1940s, British soldiers, saying these are the anti-fascist Antifa from the 1940s. You're trying to compare people, lads that have given their life, run onto beaches to fight the real fascism and taking out millions of Jews and gassing people, to people that walk around with flags, singing patriotism.
How
dare you? How dare you?
I think it's really like if we're meant to move forward as like humans, or in this country as in England, there needs to be dialogue, and for them to be labelling you as Nazis, and this is England. A lot of your parents, like my parents didn't even fight in the Second World War, but I can feel that your parents fought in the Second, like they really did go out there, and London got blitzed and all that shit was happening, everything, London was burning.
The whole of my family's got stories of,
real war, real war.
When the blitz was happening and all sorts
real
of
war.
Real war.
It's a real disrespect.
And I'll be honest with you.
Calling you.
I'll be honest with you. The left,
Nazis.
the far left that say it, I guarantee you 100%, if we went to war as a country, they would not fight. They would not fight. They'd stand behind there and they'd be holding things going, no war, and then, that sort of line. But it's iconic that we're here talking about this in such an iconic place with all the names on the boards from all
panic. You're gonna have to panic. Technician.
It's massive. I mean, this is absolute. I mean, I think it's graffiti from what I heard.
I can see the green.
This is graffiti. Someone had come here and said that these men facilitated murdering people in the 40s. That's how it left. It's crazy.
Yeah. What else do we want to talk about? So we've talked a little bit about Antifa. I'm happy to go back to that if you want. We talked a little bit about Brexit. Tommy Robinson. I feel like that's closest to your heart.
Yeah. It's massive for me. I mean, he represents everything that I stand for. He represents everything that people, how they feel. Like, at the end of the day, right now, we live in a community. In communities where we've got some serious issues, and no one wants to talk about them. No one wants to talk about them. The police are hiding things. The politicians are hiding things. And when you get someone that's got, this guy is sat in prison cells, over the last few years, just for telling the truth. And and you look.
I haven't heard him say anything wrong.
No,
I haven't heard him say anything.
That's the problem is that you've got individuals that are gang raping young girls that are still walking the streets today, yet they put 1.2 million pounds worth of British taxpayers' money into taking him to court and sending him to prison. Why is that 1.2 million pound not going into the communities to safeguard these children, or safeguard any children or any communities from any injustice that they feel it's, and then they say there's not enough money for other things, but they'll spend 1.2 million pounds taking Tommy Robinson.
Sadiq Khan wanted to put a slave statue in London or something,
Yeah,
so I'm
right,
totally against that shit for a start as well. Like, just like,
I think if you don't
cut
history
it out.
Yeah, the history of slaves. I mean, if you look about it from my understanding of the history of slaves, like, yes, it was the white community did a lot, but there's also a lot of the black community sold their own people in Africa.
It's true. I've looked it up.
And also a lot of the Muslim community sold black slaves
For a longer time.
Yeah. So it's purely to like point a finger at the white man and say, you for years and years, you've done this. This is I ain't done nothing.
You ain't done shit to me.
I respect every person from every background, but it doesn't mean I don't have a right to speak about certain things that happen within those communities.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me racist. It doesn't make me far right. It makes me a realist. And it makes me someone that's got the balls to stand up and talk about something that others won't.
Anglo-Saxon or whatever has been American, has been made to feel guilty for past
100%.
atrocities that have happened. We will say those things were bad and those things should have never
It's
happened.
the politicians that are facilitating the people like David Lammy. Some of the things that he comes out with. It's like you're causing that divide. Like you're telling people you want to bring people together. Like, why would you say those things? You're creating that divide. The media create the divide. Like they create this. Like, like if you go onto Google right now, you've never heard of Tommy Robinson. You go into Google, you type in Tommy Robinson, you get 3 to 4 pages. No one ever goes past that. 3 to 4 pages of mainstream information telling you what they want you to think of Tommy Robinson. But then if you go further than those 4 pages and listen to interviews, listen to Oxford, you've seen the Oxford speech? Have you seen the Oxford speech?
Half of it.
Yeah, man, I mean,
half of it.
how anyone
so much people
can't,
are giving so
it's
much
giving
stuff.
me goosebumps, bro, thinking about that. Because
He's got goosebumps for the record. He is passionate.
Just for that reason alone, listening to that man talk at the Oxford Union, listening to him as to why the things that he did in the first place, because like it was like 40% of the EDL were black lads.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I wanted to just get for the record. Listen, because this is going in folklore, really and truly. Yeah. How he joined the EDL, how long he was in the EDL for, and the reasons why he left the EDL. I'm sure you could.
He would have to answer that. From my perception, I believe the reason he created the EDL, the reason he felt the need to do that was because no one was listening. No one was, when you've got British soldiers that are fighting in a country, okay, and they're watching their fellow countrymen die in front of them. Family, friends, brothers dying in front of them. They're coming home and you've got individuals that are standing there, calling them, calling them death for the British police, calling them scum, hope they, suicide bombers blow them up even more. And this guy sat there and thought, we've got to do something, man. This is my community. These are my British fellow friends, that I get into, and that's the reason why I believe he created the whole thing. In terms of, when people say about Islam, let's talk about it, because you can't talk about EDL without saying the reasons, right?
Yeah, of course.
Islam, okay, is an ideology. It's a religion, okay. Just like Christianity is, right? Muslims are people that's actually individual, touching sort of people. Now, if you hate Muslims, that's bad. That's hating people. That's a racist. That's an Islamophobic side of it.
Your everyday Muslim prays 5 times a day, goes to the mosque.
There's nothing wrong with it. No, I happily live next to them. I've got no issues whatsoever. I speak to Muslim lads on the phone every day.
You go to the pub with them. He'd have an orange juice. You'd have a like in EastEnders. He has an orange juice. You have a beer.
No one can tell me why I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
What people don't understand is that when you actually look into what's going on, and when I say what's going on, I mean the radical, barbaric systems that are some of them being implemented into indoctrinated into the young Muslims in the country. Like, we've got clear video evidence of preachings in Islamic schools, teaching the kids that to hate the Jews, that don't befriend any Christians. Don't you can smile at them, but don't ever invite them into your home. And you think, if we don't tackle that, then you're allowing this creation of divide to happen, because you're not acknowledging that these issues are going. So when the government don't talk about it, when the media don't talk about it, when the pundits don't talk about it, why haven't we got a right to talk about it? And when we do talk about it, you're a far right racist, and it's like, no mate, we're just talking like the church.
In the world.
We spoke about on camera before that. Off camera, we spoke about the church. Like I'm a Christian. I go to, like I said, I go to community churches. I don't go to real churches with you know, priests and that, because my issue is there's still a lot of paedophilia within the church, and I can't
big
go.
Problem in the
massive
churches.
problem, massive
Catholic
problem.
churches.
But people talk about it.
Yeah, they talk about it.
They talk about it, and that's the issue. Like they talk about the Catholic Church, they talk about the priest, they talk about everything, and that's widely. You know, if you type that into Google, you'd have loads. But then if you try and get someone to talk about what's happening with, you know, in certain aspects of the religion of Islam, the teachings and everything else.
Everyone clams up.
No.
Could you speak to is it Imam or is somebody who is knowledge in it?
Yeah, I met Imam Tawhidi. I met him in Brussels. Do you know who he is?
Is he from Canada or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I've heard of him, and I heard that he's. Some people describe him as probably the greatest Imam in the world, and some people say that he's not.
Basically, he is a guy. He's a Muslim guy that completely respects his religion, but he respects it in the right ways, and he calls out all the radical sides of his own religion. Because let me get it right, the Old Testament. I mean, I don't know if you've read the Old Testament.
Read bits of it.
It is barbaric, my friend. It is barbaric.
It's going down.
Yeah, and and that's why we had to change that, and we had to change certain aspects of that, because those teachings and those thoughts belong in history. They don't belong in today's society. And if I can say that, then why can't I say that there's aspects of Islam that need to be looked at?
Because you should be allowed to say that. Because
look, there's a lot of people in the world that would agree that there is a combined problem in the world, and it's not Muslims, it's Islam. Okay, because Islam is created.
Radicalized Islam or Islam, or do you say radicalized Islam is the same thing?
There's one Islam.
You say it's exactly the same.
There's one Quran, there's one Islam. The hadiths say things differently, but you know, a Muslim that follows Islam, but it's the way that they interpret it. Yeah. So that's what Tommy is so good at this. I mean, he's more knowledgeable in the Quran than most Muslims.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, go on YouTube. There's a video of him sat with a young Muslim girl, and she thinks she's about to take him to town, and she's going, this, and this, and then he goes, oh, actually no, you know that's not true. Let me show you. He knows the book. He's read the book that she's brought into it, and she flips a page and goes, look, that's what he's trying to say, and then she stumbles. She doesn't know what to say, and then people are like, okay, let's just go, like, because you're getting somewhere, like. Yeah, it's a mad.
You have to be able to talk about it.
You have to.
I think that's common consensus.
The main thing right now moving forward is if we don't communicate,
what's going to happen next?
Man? Someone from the far left is going to believe. So, like, you got to think Darren Osborne. Yeah, Darren Osborne is a terrorist. Yeah, Darren Osborne ploughed a car into innocent people outside of a mosque. Yeah, he did that. Yeah, he did that because he took things. And he got so wound up by certain people things saying, he took it so far, he thought, I have to do this. Yeah. And that's the same concept for the far left.
Do you feel like he felt like his country was calling him to this? He had an inner calling to do it?
I think he was I think he's a nutter. I think you have to be able to do that to innocent people. You've got to be a nutter. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that what happened to Darren Osborne is going to soon happen to the far left. They're going to feel like, we've got to take the right out. If we don't take these far right racists out, they're going to take over our country. So you're going to have some nut job that's going to walk up to one of our, Tommy supporters, or even just a patriot, and do something to them. Potentially stab them, just because they've been told that this person is this and this. When really, if they sat down and talked to them, they'd work out they're not. As I said, the left don't want to talk, and we have to find out why. And I think I know why. The reason they don't want to talk is because they know if they talk, they haven't got an argument. And I think they realise that actually. We sit down with these people and they say, well, you don't like Muslims. We go, no, that's not true. That's not true. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact all we do is talk about Islam. We don't say we want Muslims out of the country. We don't like Muslims. Never said that. Never say it in my life. Would never say that, because that's. Mate,
I'm learning more today as well.
It's true.
Right now.
I'm telling you now, Tommy feels exactly the same. Like, fucking, he really, really does. And this is what frustrates me, because if someone just sat down with him, and talk to him.
Well, I'm ready to.
Yeah.
Tommy!
You just got to sit down. You just got to sit down and talk and understand where he's coming from. Like his cousin was groomed. His cousin was raped.
I heard that he got into it.
you know, that was a burn. Imagine
Yeah.
one of our family members, you found that out, you'd want to get to the root of it.
Of course.
If that person that agreed to rape that person, that girl, would have been a Polish man or a Romanian man or a French man, we would have been talking the same.
Do you think, this is what I find funny as well, yeah? Do you think the Muslim community are not doing enough to out
Nothing.
the people
They're not doing anything.
in their community that are doing bad things?
Can you imagine how strong, like, the Muslim community talk about Yemen, they talk about Saudi Arabia, they talk about, you know, the Saudis bombing them, and I actually agree 100% with them.
Yeah.
The British government sells arms to these countries. These countries then sell arms to barbaric countries, and then these barbaric countries slaughter these innocent people, right?
Still, yeah.
So that I agree with them with. So if they feel like that, and they have hatred towards the government, and they feel injustice from the government, why are they not standing with us? Why are they not talking with us and saying, actually, these groomers, these paedophiles, these gang rapers, they are not us. They are not part of us.
Yeah.
We'll come out and
They
say
have to
it.
say that.
Come out and stand. Imagine a force of, say,
Yeah.
200 Muslim lads and 200 British lads.
Say, here's one.
Yeah, we are all against it.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
all
yeah. I agree.
But why are they not?
Yeah,
Like,
I
on
agree.
on the phones, they say it to me. Say, oh mate, do you not think if these Muslim lads would be out there like, I said, do you not think if I knew where a groomer was, I'd go and beat him? I said, well, go and tell 100 of your mates and come to the documentary at Telford and talk about it, and because it's the only way. You've got to talk.
You've got to
talk to people, man. Stop saying things to them, labeling them. Talk to them. Get to the bottom of what's going on. We're all living in the same country. Our kids go to the same schools. We're all together in this.
All gotta get along.
Man. And we've all got one thing that we're all pissed off about. It's the government making too much money for themselves, giving it down to the people within their own government, their government, and not giving it to the people, not giving it to your community, not giving it to my community, not giving it to any community.
We're all suffering
We're
around
all
here.
suffering, mate.
All suffering.
And imagine what force, and this is the problem, this is what really gets me down, is even people on our own side, they're not willing to work together. Like, everyone wants to be Mr. Big. Everyone wants to have the YouTube channel. Everyone's like, I every time I've got on a stage, I'm going, we need to unite as one. Come together, black, white, Chinese. I don't care what you are.
Yeah.
Let's get together. Let's do this properly. Imagine having a massive march like that. How they couldn't call you racist. They couldn't call you far right. They couldn't call anything. But it's just even people on our own side. There's certain people. I mean, there's a very small minority of them, but they don't want to work together.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Another thing I wanted to touch on as well. This is what I've learned from just going to the handful of protests that I've been to as well. Anyone can join. Anyone can join anything. So anyone could tag on to Antifa. Anyone could tag on to Tommy Robinson. So if you had 20 people tag on to your thing and they had a racist ideology, it could
show,
it could fuck up your whole shit.
Absolutely. But I mean, like we talked about, I mean, I'm surprised it doesn't happen even more.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, you've been to the marches. Can I ask you, have you ever felt like you were that people were like, oh, why is there a black man? Why is there a black man over there?
No.
You ever felt like that?
No.
And when you look at the video,
Looking to the camera, wait, no.
and when you look at the brave Muslim lad that stood in front of the Antifa in the last march.
Oh yeah.
He said, look, Tommy Ross's not racist, he's just a patriot. He's saying things that need to be said.
Yeah.
You know, and all the Muslim lads on media, the idiots, said, and the left said, he was paid. He was paid.
Yeah.
He was paid to go there, and he was paid to stay there. It's like, mate, come on.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you guys? You know what I mean?
It's because they want to believe their own narrative and just not look at everything.
And look how when, for a movement apparently they're supposed to be against Muslims, which they're not, but they're supposed to be. When a Muslim man turns up and starts talking, before they even said anything, no one was going, no, you scum. There's never been that. And listen, like Kev Carroll, what a diamond, Kev Carroll, but he's ever seen anyone doing anything silly on a march, like, you know, doing the old that, or saying something racist or anything. We take them, we get them out because we don't.
You understand what it is, yeah.
Everyone's free to come to our marches. Everyone, no matter where you're from, don't care. But if you're a racist or if you are truly far right, we don't want to stand with you because that goes against what we stand for. And anyone like that should be ousted from anything because listen. No one in this communities right now should have any sort of fascism or racism towards them because it's just wrong.
Yeah.
It's completely wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, listen, this is getting deep. Anything else that we can talk about? We can talk about anything else? Well,
let's talk about Saturday. Let's talk about Saturday.
Yeah, let's talk about Saturday.
Let's talk about the lefties because take a deep breath for this one. I mean, for me, I'm very confused at the moment because the good guys are being portrayed as the bad guys, and I believe bad guys are being portrayed as good guys. Now, what I mean by that is that I had a guy stand. He thought I was a Remainer. He thought I was there in support of the Remainers, and he said to me, I said, "What should we?" You know, I thought I've already sat. I said, "What should we do with the Remainers? What should we do?" I think he was going to go, "Yeah, just get rid of them," you know, something like that. And he said, "We should gas them." Said,
no.
And I said, I thought he was joking.
No.
I genuinely thought this guy was having a laugh.
He put this on record. Did he really say to gas him?
It's on my Twitter. It's the top of my Twitter.
Yeah.
He didn't just say that. He said we should gas them, and then I said that's a bit extreme. He said then we should fight Nazi with Nazi. I said, what? You think they're a Nazi because they voted Leave? And he said, well, no, I suppose not. He said, well, actually, no. He said they'd probably gas us. And I'm thinking, what is this guy saying? And then a couple of guys from Antifa turned out and went, oh, look, Danny Tommo. So he sort of completely fucked my
yeah.
And then I turned around and said, look, this guy reckons blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, we should have an Auschwitz for leavers. Auschwitz.
On camera?
On
Is that
camera.
on camera?
It's on my Twitter, on YouTube. Have a look. The guy was, and it, you know,
I couldn't write this myself. You know?
It's mental. And you would never, ever, from my experience, hear anyone from our group or our lot say anything like that. If they did, it'd be like, mate, what are you saying? Like, they're actually getting very extreme in the way that you had two or three guys holding a Brexit Now banner, and they had the balls to walk up to where the leavers were. Now, they did that because they felt pride in themselves. They felt they needed to do that. They felt for themselves. They did that. As they walked up, I mean, they were spat at, they were kicked, they were abused. You know, the video that I've put up, they're shouting, Nazis are far streets and all. Just because they voted Leave. And the media aren't looking at this and saying, hold on a minute, these guys surely aren't Nazis. Of course they're not Nazis. They just, and because the media can't say that by siding with the right, with Boris or anything, it just carries on to get worse and worse. And there really are some sick people in the left, more so than I've ever seen anyone on our side say anything so stupid.
Yeah. Well, I believe that we're on the right path, and we're doing just
what
us
you're doing
two
so
coming.
important, man.
Yeah,
so important.
Whatever.
But I'm still going to get called a racist, and they're probably going to say you what if you got a black friend?
Yeah. I've known you for years, innit?
Yeah. But
You know what I mean?
It's great. Even like just with Tom, like when they call him, they say you wouldn't have a drink with a Muslim. Every social event I've been to with Tom, I lived in Newton, and went out. Like me, him, and one or two, the only white guys there. They're black guys there, Muslim lads there, people, Romanians there, and it's like they all know the crap. They know he's not racist. It's like it's weird because it's like a weird situation. Like Luton knows what Tommy's about, but he's not a racist. That he just talks about ideology, he talks about problems, which everyone should be talking about. I mean, go and tell one of the mothers or fathers of one of the girls that was, it blew up in the Ana Grande concert, and have a chat with them and tell them there's no problem with it. This guy specifically went out, got trained, and came back just to do that, and he did that.
Blew up kids.
He blew up kids, man. Blew up kids. But the whole thing about the concept of the racist tag. It won't go because they can't lose that, because if you take away the racist and far right tag, what can you call him? You ain't got nothing.
A revolutionary, probably.
You ain't got nothing, and that's what they're scared of. They said we can't lose the racist far right tag because then we ain't got nothing. Then he's just a guy that's a real patriot. So it's crazy. Yeah.
Just a little quick question. This is personal to me personally because I'm born in this country.
Yeah.
What is it to be British? Could I be British? Because I don't see myself as British or English.
Sad that though.
Because of the way, as I'm getting older, I would say it's because of the way that mainstream media and I wouldn't say my family were racist, so they just erred me on the side of caution. So the way I grew up, it was to be very wary. Do you know what I mean?
I can understand that from what I've seen.
From what I really wanted to know, from your opinion, and I know your opinion doesn't count for every white person in this country, but from your opinion, could I be British?
You are British, my friend.
I am British.
Of course you're British.
Okay.
Listen, man.
This
is quite sad. For me, this is sad.
Quite nice to say that.
For me, that's very sad that you feel like that, because I mean, I don't even know how to answer that. I mean,
I feel more British today. Listen, I feel more British today talking to you now than I did yesterday, mate. So it's a journey, innit? Do you understand? Maybe in 5 years' time, I'll be with you in supporting and everything. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? It's like, when we do the football things and the football lads like that, I mean, there's a lot of black lads with the football and all that.
I'm going to the football. I'm going Millwall. I'm going West Ham. I'm going Chelsea. I'm going up north. I'm going Newcastle. Everywhere. Just go and see what's happening. See what's going on.
It's like if the lads get involved in the football, like, I mean, if they heard you say that.
Alright, could I be English?
No English.
I didn't think you was going to say that.
Where were you born?
I was born in England.
No, where were you born? Where in England were you born?
Brighton.
Born in Brighton. And he's asking me if he's English.
Well,
brother.
Let me ask you something. He said, brother.
He said,
brother. But listen to what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I would say, yeah, a good over 50% of black people, over 50%. I'm gonna do some little social experiments, literally, of like, do you class yourself as English and do you class yourself as British? You know what I'm saying?
Do they see that? So if is it because if you say a British man, a white, a British man?
I can't believe you said that I could conceive myself as English.
Why wouldn't you?
I'm looking you in your eye.
Why
Do
wouldn't
you
you
believe that you actually?
Of course I believe it. It's mad.
Yeah.
You even question that. I mean, like, it's nothing to do with colour. It's like you should. It's just, it's a real sad.
This is the message that we've got to get out to the people.
It's sad that a part of any community would feel non-British, non-English, just because of certain things. But I can understand it. I mean, if you've seen things and you've heard things and you haven't been, things have been portrayed to you a certain way.
For me personally, it hasn't been that bad.
Yeah.
He's my technician. Is a member of my family.
Yeah.
He has a different outlook on it, and he's my brother. We grew up together. Do you understand? So what I've learned is different people have different outlooks on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I just think it's very, and that I think we've just sort of nailed on the head really a little bit. Is you feel like, if you feel like that, and you probably aren't alone by feeling like that.
And I'm quite a critical thinker. So imagine if you was a bit like just a bit ignorant.
And
Do you know what I mean?
Really sad for me. That's sad that you would say that because, you know.
I feel more. I feel more English and I feel more British today than I have ever in my whole entire life.
Especially where it's at.
So you've done something. You've done something amazing today already. You put an input on me. That was something personal for me. You know what I mean?
Even if you was a Muslim lad sat there and he said the same thing, of course you're English. Of course you're British. I mean, it's not about skin colour. It's not about the way you look. It's about who you are, where you're from, and being proud of where you're from. Nothing to do about the way you look. And that's what people need to realise, man. I'm actually quite sad that you said that.
Hey, no, but I'm happy that you said it. You're sad that you said it. I'm happy that you said it. Because I thought just from the beginning you just said, yeah, you are British. But when I said that, am I English? I thought you was gonna say no. I thought you was gonna say no, and I reckon a lot of people would say no as well. And if some other people would disagree, I respect your opinion on disagreeing as well. And that's what it's about. Talking.
Yeah, get into the root. I mean, finding out why you feel like that, and making people realise that whatever the reasons why you feel like that, let's put that on its head. Let's change your perception. And even if I can change one person from feeling like that,
you made me feel better today.
By your videos, hopefully there's a black man that's sitting there right now. It feels like a bit like you. Actually, yeah, I am British.
There's a white man there sitting there and says, "Raw, you know what? Because there's a million people nicer than me. There's a million people that are giving more than me." With brown skin, do you know what I mean? And I know there's millions of people. I know that white people fought to free black slaves as well. It's a disservice to just
we're the first country that abolished it.
Yeah, it's a disservice. I want to put this on the record. It's a disservice. Yeah, and it's from my heart. It's a disservice to say to a whole race of people that stereotype them as slave drivers or your people, when in fact when there was a war for the North and South, I'm not really educated, but the little bit that I do know in it, white people did help fight and some of them died as well.
Let me put it this way to you.
Alright.
Let me put it this way to you. What you've just said there in terms of people, the way they feel because of those white people. Let me put it this way. When people, we talk about problems within Islam, they say, yeah, but you can't just label the whole community terrorists because guy blew him up. No, you can't. So how can you, if you can't do that, and I agree 100%, you can't do that, so how can you then label all white men, the white community, oh look at you, you should be sorry because you put people in slavery. I can guarantee you now, none of my family put anyone in slavery.
I don't think
maybe the forefathers, mate, I don't know. I don't want to put that on fact, I don't know, but I'm telling you now. If, what's going on in the countries that it's going on, there's still slavery right now, even in the UK, I mean...
Libya!
Yeah.
No! That's pissing me off. I'm just gonna put that out there. Libya. Listen.
We did that, you know. We did that to you.
Okay.
We did that to Afghanistan. We did that to Iraq. Let me put it this way.
You're surprising me. You know?
No. Let me put it this way. Listen, if you're sat in a house with your kids and you're having dinner, the next thing you go out to the car to grab something, you come back and the whole house is gone. The kids are in 10 different pieces, and your wife is nowhere to be seen. They're all dead. I'd want revenge. Yeah? I'd want revenge, and I believe that what we're doing to people inside of these countries, we are creating extremists. We are creating ISIS. We are creating, because what people don't realise from these countries is that we, the people, are creating, are doing what the government are bombing. The governments are making millions off the weapons, not the people. They need to distinguish the fact that the government and the people are separate.
And the government is sending the people as well. So it's your family what's dying, what goes over
like,
there.
Don't get me wrong, we had to go into some of these, like Iraq, it had to be done in certain respects. Tony Blair lied, he completely lied. Just a lot of it's oil. A lot of people I've spoken to, they do believe, and they're high up in things, they do believe it's about oil, but there are things that we did have to take care of.
Yeah.
But what we've done is we've taken it too far. We've used drones when drones shouldn't be used in civilized places, because yes, okay, you can take a terrorist out, but you might take 10 civilians out, and then you created 5 more terrorists. Yeah, by doing that to their family. So the Muslim community needs to understand that we listen, when they talk about Yemen, I am with them on that. Like, we should not be selling arms to countries making billions and billions amount of profit, so them to go out into Yemen and to kill innocent Muslims. So you know, people sit down and talk, we're actually on the same sheet. But the thing that the Muslim community are doing, they're not fighting the way that we are and trying to come out in their masses and, you know, stand with us.
Yeah, I believe that the Muslim community, if there are people in their ranks that are doing something, they need to do more about it.
They need to talk. Listen, there are people in Telford, there are people in Rochdale, there are people in Oxford, there are people in Bradford, lads that would never think about grooming a young girl, would never ever rape a girl. And there are loads of them. Why are those communities not coming together and going, lads, listen, let's put everything aside for a second, let's go and deal with these lads. Let's go and make a show of strength somewhere for the police to act. Because if you've got the Muslim community and the white community, the British community, or the black community, everyone come together and all saying the same thing, hopefully something will happen.
Something's gonna happen.
You know what I mean?
Yo, mad thing, sad thing right now.
I've got 4 children, yeah? I've got 3 boys.
3 girls.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got 1 girl, man. That is she's way too much, man. I'm so glad.
Yeah. She's the youngest or the oldest?
Yeah, she's the youngest.
She's the youngest. She got 3 boys to look after her. She'd be alright then. She'd be alright.
She'll be good. But I'm worried about the future because
Me too.
We had, obviously we knew about, you know, certain problems that were going on. We knew about the church. We knew about the, you know, the Muslim grooming gangs. We knew about everything. But no one was really acting massively on it the way that the mainstream are talking about it. It's like, you know, every single weekend now there's a demonstration in London pretty much.
Yeah.
And there's not just like 100 people, there's like thousands of people turning up. So there are some serious problems.
People are getting more and more pissed
no one's talking about it. Like the democracy thing. Like, how can you go to London and hold a sign saying defend democracy when you have to be an idiot to actually believe that, hold on a minute, so 17.4 million people voted to leave, they won the referendum, every politician agreed and still agreed that they would abide by that result, and we are now 3 years down the line, there are even political parties that their manifestos are to stop Brexit, that's their manifesto, stop Brexit, and they are, Boris has to do this, it's his only choice, the Queen.
That's the will of the people.
The will of the people.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not, like, don't get me wrong, if we'd have lost and they would have won, yes, I would have been like, but I would have accepted, because you go against that, you ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
Now, how many people, if we don't come out of the EU, how many of those 17.4 million people would go back to a booth and put their tick on a block? I guarantee there's a large proportion of them that wouldn't do that, because I certainly, I would never, ever walk into a polling booth ever again if my vote actually counted for nothing. And they're trying to bring in new laws, they're trying to bring in new little things to try and stop it. They just need to accept it. And then you talk to lefties about the EU, you go, who's your MP, mate? Who's your MEP? So okay, you're here trying to talk about the EU, you ain't got a clue where your MEP is. Okay, who's the president of the European Union? Okay, what policies is it that really gets you that we're going to lose when we come out?
well, it's about this. Apparently, we're going to lose lots, and there's going to be food shortages, and we're never going to have any medicines ever again. It's like, mate, do you know how much billions and billions and billions and billions of pounds that these medicine companies they make off medicines in this country? There is no way at all.
We'd be right.
Nothing's going to happen.
And on the scaremongering, because nobody knows what's going to happen after. I had a really good point in my special that is, isn't it?
Look how we survived after World War II. Our cities were bombarded with bombs.
Yeah, we survived.
Look at us 70, 80 years later, man. I mean, we're coming out of an EU, man. It's not
sometimes you have to go through the rough to get to the smooth.
100%.
Sometimes you got to go through the rough to get. It might be 5 years harder, and this is what I think. I just think, oh well. I heard a lot of people saying, oh well, to get over to Europe's going to be hard, and to get over there, well, it should be. If it's hard for us, it should be harder for them.
It's nonsense.
Suppose it was harder for us, shouldn't it be harder for them to come in as well?
I have family who live in France, and it's what people aren't being told is nothing is going to happen. It's all, like when we wake up on the 1st of November, it's going to be it's going to be like everything's still alright, and it's on the 10th of November and the 30th of November, everything's alright. I can still go and get some bread, paracetamol still in the shop. It's just they just don't want to come out. They listen, the amount of money that's involved in MEPs, like Tom obviously found out about the MEP. They get like 60, 70 grand a year. They get, do you know how much tax they pay? Pay 11% tax on their wages. That's the lowest tax.
I never knew that.
Yeah. And as soon as they get off the plane or they get into the European Union, they get £400 expenses to go and get pizza in the park. They don't actually do anything. They just sit there talking. They're taking the piss.
And they're not even in touch with
Even Juncker said out loud on camera, things aren't working at the moment. They need to, he's trying to get all the countries to give the comment so that what the EU says is fine. When we ever get to that point, it's a dictatorship, man.
Apologies for the train going over the top.
Mike should be alright.
Yeah.
Mike should be alright.
They're even admitting themselves. They're admitting themselves that the European Union is working. We've got, when I went to the Yellow Vest protest in Paris, and I sat with people and I spoke to them about various issues, and I said about EU, and not one person supported the EU, not one of them. And I was very shocked by that because I thought the French were very much involved. They're a massive party. They weren't. They hate it. They genuinely believe that their president, who's probably going to be his last term, he's been put in place, to push that EU sort of agenda, and he's achieving it.
Do you agree with open borders for Europe?
Listen, let me put it this way: if you leave borders open, what people don't get is
anyone can come in.
Anyone, any refugees. Let's get the refugees. Refugees should be welcome in this country, but there's a big but to this. We've been helping refugees for years. We brought millions in World War II. We've done lots and lots, but for the right reasons. Yeah. I watched a documentary about it was about a Jewish Israeli team that had gone to Africa, and there were black Jews in Africa that were being slaughtered, and they managed to get in there, and they managed to get a lot of these. I think like 3,000 or 4,000 of these refugees back to Israel. Yeah, black people. Right? And I watched that, and to me, when people go, look, they're all men, they're all black men, and I think before, I'll be honest, like 5 years ago, I'd have been like, go home and fight. Now I look at it and think, hold on a minute. These guys genuinely, there's a majority of them that probably, if they stayed where they were, they would have got. A lot of them Christians, they would have been butchered. Yeah. And you only got to do some research on the internet to find out what's going on in these.
I will be doing some research.
Boko Haram and all these sort of people, man. They are going through these little villages and they are slaughtering kids' heads off. They are cutting men's heads off. They are sticking. Oh, mate, it's the stuff. So, controlled immigration. We have to know who's coming in. We're only an island. No one is saying we shouldn't help refugees. What we're saying is you can't just go anyone come in. The terrorism threat is huge. You can't just do it like. I mean, last couple of days, 20 migrants on the beach of Dover turned up.
We don't know. One of them it's been sent from Syria to get to there, to then get into London, to then be given a
should be
device.
vetted.
You've got to vet people. And apparently all they do is they go to these little places, they sit down with them, they get their names, they try and do a check, and then they release them into the public. And yes, okay, if
How do you find out someone's name?
you can't.
If he comes on a boat, how do you find out what his name is?
That's the problem.
That's possible, isn't it?
Help the right people, but people need to accept that people say, oh, you know, they're coming to England because they've been gone through, you know, all the, yeah, all right. So why didn't they stay in France or Italy or Austria or Spain? Why are they specifically coming to England? I tell you,
nice country.
I tell you what, it's a nice country, and we're so relaxed.
Yeah.
On you know, because, like I say again, yeah. You've got services being cut, like the police force. You've got apparently hospitals in turmoil. But yet again, they'll spend £1.2 million taking Tommy Robinson to court. They'll spend millions and millions of pounds on the Remain campaign. They'll spend millions of pounds on you know, it's all waffle.
Yeah,
It's all complete waffle, and people are starting to see it. That's what's making people come out. They're starting to see the bullshit. That's a good thing. Eyes are open in every community. Eyes are open, even in the Muslim community. People are saying to me after conversation, saying, actually, I thought it was racist, I actually thought it was against Muslims. But I've talked to you, and yeah, all right, listen, I'll be honest with you, if I found a Christian that's raping a Muslim girl, I'd be saying no shit.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, now
I'll tell you what struck me. I'll tell you what struck me from this conversation. You haven't said just Muslims. You said when you're speaking about paedophilia and stuff, you say the church as well.
Oh, massive.
You say the church and you say Muslim. You say the raping gangs or whatever it is. You're putting it. The problem is paedophilia, and
absolutely, we have to distinguish it. The problem is
root of it.
The paedophilia is the problem.
Yeah.
We have the largest amount of paedophilia in this country is white men. There's three types of grooming, from what I understand. There's you know, when you sit online, they'll try and groom girls or groom boys from their laptops, from their computers, and they'll try and get them to send them pictures or try and meet them.
That's when they get the paedophile hunters
going out.
Yeah.
And then what strikes me is that when people say, why do you only talk about Muslim rag gangs? I say, listen, you know the white lads that are doing it? Because there's actively groups that are going out to catching.
I noticed that myself.
99% of those they're catching are white.
The Muslim people in that community, if there's things like that going on, if they don't bring it and cast it out, then they can't fault anybody else for doing that.
If I can say that a large portion of paedophiles in this country are white men grooming people online, that is a fact. I have to be able to say that we have a large proportion of the problem with Pakistani Muslim men targeting young girls outside of schools, outside of shops, and, you know, drugging them and raping them, gang raping them. You should be able to say that because you know if it just continues, someone's going to end up something like Darren Osborne's going to happen again because
I believe so.
Because if you don't stop the problem at its root, you're going to create another problem.
And they're going to feel like they've got something.
If you're not going to go after them, we'll go after them. And then you're creating a
vigilante.
And if you actually deal with the problem itself, and people see that, they go, okay, fair play, they're dealing with it. Now, you know, the church needs to be dealt with more and more. The amount of money that's being pumped into the church, right, and they are not with the community right now. From what I'm seeing, my community church is purely about the community. It's about bringing people together, black, white, Chinese, yellow, green, whatever. But the church and the priests, I've got to get this sinister feeling, man. And I hate that because it's my own religion, bro. It's my own religion, and I have to feel like that.
Ulterior motives, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like when I went to it's horrible, man. It's giving me goosebumps thinking about it. I went to my nan's funeral and it was in a real church like that. I just saw these young boys, probably like 9 years old, in robes and stuff. I couldn't stop.
Didn't feel
The
right.
only thing I could think of was like, oh, it was something.
Yeah.
And because they were walking over and he was being very like, and I thought, you know what? I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. I love God 100%. But this don't feel right. And there's probably nothing going on. But because we're not dealing with that church side, I have those feelings. But if I can say that about my own religion, then Muslims need to be able to say that about me. That's the problem. They're not allowed to because, from what I understand from Muslims I've spoken to, they tell me off camera the truth. Is that we can't criticise them. That's the problem. They're not actively allowed. That's something we have to do now.
Something we have to talk about.
Yeah, you have to. But there are Muslim lads out there that do open up, and they're ousted.
Are you going to go back to speaking school on Sunday?
I will. I mean, the problem is, I get very heated. I like to go places on my own. I hate those people because if you go, I could take 5 days any day of the week. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is go there and just talk to people face to face. Now, I've been spat out, I've been kicked, everything. In Speaker's Corner, man, it got a bit shady, man.
It felt a bit dangerous.
I was going to get stabbed up. I definitely, yeah. From because I wasn't allowing anyone, no matter if they were white or anything, they were converts. Yeah. Anjem Chowdhury, converts, who converted these, probably not himself, but people from his group were actively calling for the slaughter of people and talking about terrorism and everything else and saying, what's wrong with that? I'm standing in Speaker's Corner preaching. Standing in one of the most iconic places for speech.
Raj, I think Raj was doing something where we was...
Raj is spot on. Like, listen, free speech.
Big up Raj.
Big up Raj. There's free speech and then there's inciting things, and I think there is a boundary. You can't just say, you can't just no, because if someone goes away from listening to you and has that perception, that's, I'm all about free speech, but if someone's there trying to encourage people to commit acts of violence,
I'm not with that.
You know what I mean?
I'm for free speech, but not
those lads. They were friends with the lad or something. There was a connection between the lads to the guy that did on the Westminster Bridge. So there's the connection through the whole thing. And I went there and I confronted them. And then suddenly I was surrounded by 300 Muslims all telling me that I was getting head cut off.
Yeah. Oh.
But the funny thing was, there was a few Muslim lads there that were protecting me.
Yeah.
They were actually saying, hold on a minute. What he's saying, actually, he's talking about Yemen. He's talking about. Don't just sit there and talk about Muslims. Don't talk about like we got problems with this. And they were like, listen, he ain't racist, he ain't far right. Don't treat him like this because it's not right. Like if someone came in here like, I don't know if you know Tan.
Tan.
Started going in the Speaker's Corner saying the N-word and that. And I didn't like, obviously for me, I'm about like if I see a single person in their room getting crowded and all that, I'm all about going over. So I've gone over to Tan. I don't know nothing about this video. I've gone over. Leave him alone. Free speech, right? And he goes N-word. And I was like,
you're going to put your foot right in that,
And then I worked out he's actually crazy. He's a lunatic. I mean, even that. I mean, I would never free speech, but walking into somewhere and saying that N-word. I mean, for me, there's a place and a time, and that definitely isn't the place.
I think that we got problems. I think that we got things to deal with that word. Anyway, it's a word that I used to use freely growing up, and we take back the word and all this shit. As 41-year-old, it shouldn't be used. Do you know what I mean? We can think of slang goes in and out all of the time. Why do we keep this one there, relevant all the time? Do you know what I mean?
It's a prominent word as well in a lot of the industries of music, the black community. For me, it just thrives. I never can understand it, but you guys are free to say whatever you want. But for me, it's a bit like, why do they say a word that really is one of the worst words you can? They use a word themselves. Call them that as a white man,
you have a problem. It's a grey area. You're making a grey area out of something that shouldn't be a grey area. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me. Really appreciate it. It's all about dialogue. It's all about talking, and even if we don't even agree on things, at least we know where each other stands. Do you know what I mean? If we don't talk about the problems what's going on in the country, it's going to be worse for your children, and it's going to be worse for my children. So, can I get a Blackvanman? We're out from Portsmouth. Love, blessings, all of that. Can I get a plug?
Blackvanman, thank you very much. It's actually been a pleasure. I was very surprised when I had the invitation to come and talk to him. I'm very, very happy I came. Thanks very much, mate. Appreciate it.
Nice.
Blessings.